all you need is space, and then ideally some sort of weight. So it can be one dumbbell, moderate weight. It can be 2 dumbbells to get a heavier weight, or if you have a band, that will work as well. We are going to hit full body. It's going to be focused more on a conditioning aspect with some resistance mixed in, and everything will be done counting reps at your own pace through a given time. So this first section, what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 movements. We're going to do 8 of each movement on one side, and then you go back through the other side, 8 reps of each movement, and then we're going to just keep flowing through that at our own pace for 5 minutes. So the idea is to just keep moving and try not to take any breaks. So the 3 movements, we have a lateral lunge. So with a weight, you can step into it. You'd hold it in the opposite arm, so you kind of reach to the inside of that foot as you sit down. You can go body weight, or a modification for that lateral lunge, wide feet, sitting to one side at a time. So we're gonna go 8 on one side. Whatever side you just did, you're gonna use that as your planted leg. We're gonna do a single leg deadlift, like so. And if you need some assistance, just have a chair or wall close by you can hold on to. 8 of those. And then we're gonna finish with a push press for 8. That's where our dumbbell, so again, if you have 2 lighter ones, you could hold them each at the shoulder. A little bit heavier one, we can hold here, or a band, you could stand in a band. And we're just gonna give a little bump, press up, and then bring it back down to the shoulders, controlled, like so. So 8 is the magic number. We're gonna work for 5 minutes. Again, starting with lateral lunges, stay on one side as we go through this. All right, here we go. So stepping in, I'm gonna stick with body weight today. Again, you would hold that weight and then just reach to the inside. So we're doing 8 lateral lunges on one side. So you might end up a little behind or a little ahead of me, that's fine. Again, goal is to keep moving. Once you got 8 on that one side, that leg that was moving, that's the leg that stays planted into the ground. Again, working from that hip, pushing that back pocket back behind you, straight leg as we come up. We should feel some movement through the hamstring, glutes. Again, all one side, 8. And then finishing with that push press. So you can use a band. I have 1 dumbbell, you could use 2 dumbbells. So you're just pushing right up overhead, bring it back down. If it was heavier, you could add that little push. Breathe in as we get to that top. Again, goal is 8 here. Once we got those 8, then we go the other side for that lunge. So now, again, back to the top, lunge, single leg deadlift, push press, 8 of everything on one side. And just try and keep a good pace. You can add that weight there, you need a little more resistance. Then again, that leg that moved, that's the leg now we're working that hinge. So I like to think about reaching that back heel for the wall behind me, feeling a little stretch to the hamstring. Knee does bend a little bit as we go down. And again, you can hold a weight here right out in front. And then once you got all 8 of those 2 movements, back to that overhead. So using just a little dip, a little power, you can kind of then turn that into more of a power, full body move. This is light enough, I could just press it. We're just getting that little extra energy, making it that push press. Once you got those 8, again, we're back to the other side. So I'll remind you of that modified lunge. So now you should be back to that first leg, either about right now or maybe in a few seconds when you finish those presses. This would be that modification, feet wide, sitting to one side. Again, once you got that 8, plant that leg. Show you what it for this single leg deadlift. If you're fact checking, it's a single leg RDL, Romanian deadlift. Again, once we got that 8, weight or band comes up, give it a press. So we're working this for 5 minutes. So we're over halfway there. So we're gonna definitely at least get both sides here even. Big thing on that push press, try not to open up through the rib cage or core. So my ribs stay down, stacked above the hips. And now we got that last side. See if we can fit it in that 5-minute window. Now later in the workout, we are gonna get a chance to come back to this. So if you do fall short a little bit on being even, just remember what side and maybe start with that side when we get to it later. We've got about 30 seconds left. Sometimes you'll find one side feels a little bit better than another. Our hips are not perfect. They're not symmetrical most of the time, so that's why you'll feel a little difference from your right to your left. She got that 8. Again, see if you can get a rep or 2. Oh, there's 5 minutes. Okay. So, you can shake that out. So, like I said, we are going to end up coming back to that. But now we're going to switch gears. We're going to go 5 minutes, and we're going to focus on some core movements. So we have 30 bicycles. So what we're going to do, lay back, knees are stacked above the hips, and then again, think about pulling that back down towards the ground, hand behind the head. We're going to go up and sideways. So make sure you're not just kind of twisting, but actually lifting up and over. So we're going to go 30 total. Then we're going to come up. We're going to finish with 20. Yes, sorry, hold on, let me double check. Yes, 20 leg extensions. So then we're gonna come up here. 1, 2, 3, so each one counts till we get to 20 leg extensions. And make sure we're staying long here. We're not rounding back, and we have some tension here in the abs. And then we're gonna finish 10 bear crawl hold with a shoulder tap. So in this bear crawl position, we're gonna float the knees and then tap 10 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're not shifting side to side. So that's our core movements here. Again, we're gonna spend 5 minutes on those things. 30, 20, 10, bicycle, leg extension, the bear crawl shoulder tap. Ready? Here we go. So bicycle on our back, hands behind the head. Then we're coming to up and over. Left shoulder to right knee, right shoulder to left knee. Try not to rotate on those hips, so meaning keep both hip bones kind of anchored in. We're using that upper body to come over and lift and crunch. Lift chin off your chest. Make sure you're counting. Remember, 30 total. Once you got that 30, you're gonna come up on those sit bones. Just lightly lean back into those hands. Really make it about the core holding. And then push to the heel, come back up. 20. And you really blow out the air from the abdomen. Here. Think about all that space between the hip bones. Blowing out the air, pulling it in tight. Once you got those 20, flip over, bear crawl. I'm gonna do it from this way. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Dig the toes in, float the knees. And then we're touching the shoulder. 1, hold a second. 2, make sure you're getting that little pause. And as you're doing that, try and keep the body right where it starts. So hips don't pop up. And then we're right back on our backs. So back to the bicycle. Again, magic number is 30. Check out those toes, make sure they're pointed towards the ceiling. Again, not pulling on the neck, elbows wide. Breathing. Nice, keep lifting. So again, get to that 30. Again, doesn't matter if you're a little ahead, little behind. Okay, once you got that 30, up on the sit bones. Again, think about a string pulling the crown of the head up. Just lightly position those hands. Blow out. Good, 20 total. Woo. Oh, once you have that 20, you're flipping over, bear crawl, holding those shoulder taps. Tell you what, some of these things, you're really fatigued from your other day. Woo. Good, again, try not to shift side to side as we lift up a hand. You have a little pause on that tap, and then you're right back down. All right, so we're at 3 minutes 15. We're going to 5 minutes. Again, take those little breaks if you need. Everything engaged. Blow out the air. Lift those shoulder blades up. There's 10. Lifting that shoulder blade. All right. Woo! Now we're feeling, we should feel a little bit of heat and tension through those abs. Again, lean back, light through the hands, extend that leg out, push through the heel, get that leg all the way out long. You could modify this by putting one heel down lightly, extending out and making sure we're still keeping that long back and that linear rounding and not putting too much pressure in those hands. So make sure we're holding through that core, breathing with it. Okay, then you got that bear crawl. So always take the progression or modification that you can work your hardest at, but also have good form. Sometimes we kind of pick the thing that looks the coolest. If we're not executing it all the way, we're kind of wasting some energy. So always pick the one you know you can do the most at while doing it correctly. Okay. Oh, and there's 5 minutes. Okay, guys. So go ahead, shake that out again. Kind of stretch out those abs if you need. We're gonna reset the clock. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do it all again. So we're gonna go back to that lower body circuit that we did with the push press. We're gonna do 5 minutes of that, 5 minutes of those abs again, and then we have a finisher. So gear up, grab that dumbbell or band. Here we go. Over to one side. So again, I'm keeping it body weight. You can add that dumbbell to that reach, hold it in the opposite, and then reach into it. And pushing off. Remember, you're going 8 one direction. Then you stop on that leg. That's the one that anchors down into the ground. Think about reaching that heel back behind you and then coming back up. First one, always think about finding that center, reaching long. Again, you could hold a dumbbell right out in front. You're going about mid-shin and then back to the top. So you're not trying to touch the ground, just mid-shin. I see a lot of people when they do this, they try and round because they're just worried about where they're reaching. So really think about those hips lowering, and wherever that is, that's where our arms go. All right, grab that weight once you got the 8, push press. And you can do that with a band too. Stand in, bump it up, bring it back down. Nice. This is where you get a little breather. Once you got that 8, now you're on that other leg. So now I'm stepping in. Remember, you can keep the feet apart. Take that step out. So that's bothering the knee. Get here. See if you can work on sitting into the hip and not feel like you're just stepping out with that knee. So we want to avoid, I'll show you what we want to avoid. I see a lot of this where the toes are out like a ballerina, and all that's happening is we're going right into that knee. So think toes forward, heel back, hip back. All right, then anchor that leg. Slowly lowering down, coming back up. Focus on that hamstring. Ooh, find your balance, Jen. Good. Staying along that back, we're not rounding. Imagine like a paper towel or magazine underneath the armpit there, so that we're not losing that upper back tension. So if we went like this, we'd lose our newspaper. All right, and then that push press is next. So we're just now at halfway. So if we keep on pace, you're gonna get one of each side again. Stop showing a bunch of weird stuff, and we'll just hit it here these last 2 rounds. Good, breathe. Okay. All right, back to that first side. So if you remember, if you fell short the last time we did this, hopefully you're doing that side you missed out on first. So we got that 8, plant that leg, that's the leg we're going down on. Again, I think about my back pocket, my stretching back, that was a bad one. There we go. Even the person on the other side of the screen is human. Imagine that. Again, 8's your magic number. Feel that hamstring stretch out. Fingertips to mid-shin. Cool. So even for yourself, each workout's gonna feel different. Push press. Always just give it your all. Give it your best that day. Give yourself grace on those days that it was all you could do just to get on, find the video, work through it. Maybe it was all you could do to get in the car, get to the gym. Okay, let's see if we can get that last side in here. Nice, once you get low, really push up out of that hole. Okay, then we plant that leg. Got 30 seconds here. Reach long. Again, knee softens, but it stays right above that ankle. Again, think about kicking someone way back behind you with your heel. Reach long. Whoop. And then finish with that push press. Give it a bump. Control back down, bump. Control. Nice. All right. I went a little over there. That's okay, right? Got a few extra reps. Okay. So if you need a drink, grab it now. Or we're going down for the ground, those 3 things. Bicycles, leg extension, and then the bear crawl. Shoulder tap, 30, 20, 10. All right, are you with me? Here we go. We're gonna lay back. Whoop. Let's reset that. Let's get a fair start. All right, guys. Now, lay back, hands behind the head. There we are. Remember, we're lifting, not just rolling side to side. Lift up. You can blow out that air. Exhale as you lift. Don't hyperventilate. Don't feel like every time you lift, you gotta exhale. Just make sure you're focusing on that at some point in each exercise. That breath. We're not holding it in. Okay, once you got those 30, we're up on our sit bones. Remember, lighten the hands behind, lean back, stay long through that back, push through the heel. Smile. Just try it. Sometimes the smile makes it hurt a little less. Woo! All right, then you're in that bear. Tapping the shoulders again. So imagine you got a tray of drinks that you just love. So knees floated. We got that tray on our back. As we lift that hand, we don't want to move anything in our torso, in our body, to allow those drinks to spill. I think it's a shortage of red wine. Can't go back and replace it. It's your last few cups you have. Okay, you got those 10. Flip over, we're back to that start. Ugh. And the lift. Chin off the chest. Again, glue the hip bones down. Still lifting towards that knee. Again, that's where you're gonna feel the most if you're still getting up towards the knee with the shoulder. Okay. Give it a stretch if you need. Again, sit bones in, lean back, push that heel out. Woo, 10. Even if you gotta break it up. Again, day to day, it's gonna feel different. So today for me, did a lot of legs yesterday. My legs just don't wanna hold up. All I can do is focus in, get what I can. Woo! Take those breaks where I need, back at it. All right, set it up again. I'll show from the side. Remember, we're kind of set up right underneath everything there. And then float those knees. So we don't want our butt sticking up towards the ceiling. Sometimes I see this as we fatigue, so bring it down. If the hand lift is too much, that's what causes you to lose everything in the center. Just hold. Count to 10, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Nice and slow. Okay, we got a minute and a half left. Plenty of time to get one more full round in. Get back at it. 30 of these. Reach that leg long. Get a modification, just kick up a little higher. And still lifting up off that ground with the shoulder blade. Push towards that knee. Oh, all right. Still got a little time here. Let's keep it rocking. Here we go. Push, push. Again, no matter where you're at, concentrate. Think about what you're working. My legs are not gonna let me do it. Think about what's happening. So as my legs get tired, I'm gonna focus on holding right here. Blowing out that tension. Holding long. Ugh. Okay. Setting up that bear. Toes in. Float those knees, kind of reach that middle back up. We don't want to sink on the shoulders here, so reach that middle back towards the ceiling. So that space between the shoulder blades. Okay. All right, look at that. Okay, so again, shake it out. If you're right at the end of your reps, finish up your reps. We're gonna do a 4-minute finisher. So for this finisher, we're just gonna rock 2 movements. We're gonna rock them hard, and we're gonna finish strong. So the movements are 10 of each. We have a squat jump, So squat jump, that full down and up. You can even touch the ground and up. Modification, take out the jump. Or you could do, if you don't want to just squat and you want kind of more just something for the heart rate, you do the hip extension where the hips are driving it versus the knees driving it. So 10 of those. And then we're going to take that dumbbell or band and we're going to do a one arm row, 10 on each side. And then you'll jump again. So sitting back into the hips, rowing back, you'll have 10. You'll have 10 on the other side, and then you'll finish with jumps again. So in a band, you can stand in your band, row that one side. If you have low back and you have a way to anchor your band in a door or a pole, you can always pull that way as well. Are we ready? Okay, 4 minutes on the clock, 2 movements. Here we go, starting with the squats, the jumps, or the hip extension. Here we go. Jump. Soft landing, especially if you have a neighbor underneath you. Soft landing, big jump. Then you're rowing each arm. So if you have a band, step in that band, still getting that hinge, pulling that elbow close. Once you got that 10, you're switching over 10 on the other side. Again, flat back, stick the hips back so we got some support in the lower body. You can kick a leg back, that gives a little bit more support. You still have that band on the front foot, and then we're back to that lower body. Sit down, get up, get up. Got modification, hips, jump, and 10, and then row. Put the elbow in. Sometimes I see this going on, that's gonna get a lot in the neck. So pulling back. See ya. Nice job. And 10. Good. Back at it. So you can even squat. Add that jump. Get some height. Woo! Woo! 10 it is. Okay. Halfway there. Remember, this is your finisher. This is where you go. You dig in. Nine, 10. Do a little posture break. Back into it. Row. Woohoo! Let it down. Oh, here we go. Down and up. Did I mention I did a lot of legs yesterday? It's okay, maybe you did too. All right. Gear up here. We're in our last minute. Use it up. Pull back, that space between the shoulder blade coming to the middle, reaching back out. And then looks like I got time for some more jumps. Maybe you do too. Breathe. Oh, and I want you guys to use up that clock. A few more seconds here. Get a few jumps if you want. And that's time. Nice work. Awesome. Way to come, way to work. Especially sometimes you don't know what you're in for and you just gotta roll with it. It's awesome. Way to go.